It is my very extreme pleasure to introduce three very special people, J.D. Martin, Jan Garrett, Melinda Powell. Melinda Powell, I don't know. Is that your last name? Melinda Wood Allen, pardon me. But we have such a special event here for you today. It's filled with music. We're going to keep the vibration high. And I want to tell you a little bit about these lovely people. Jan Garrett and J.D. Martin are multi-award-winning songwriters who live and create their music in the mountains of Aspen in Colorado. They're seasoned performers and creative guides who teach with a twinkle and inspire by example. Isn't that the way we should all do, right? Their music is rich and intelligent, a velvet hammer, wake-up call, as satisfying the soul as it is to the ear. Songs to open the heart and refresh the spirit. J.D. Martin has written 5 number 1 and 10 top 10 country hits. Let's hear it for him. Yeah. Ultimate professionals, yeah. Jan Garrett is a jazz singer with a poet's soul, a teacher, a performance coach, a wilderness vision quester, and she's going to have to tell us what a certified laughing instructor is. I'm sure it involves lots of laughing. But together they have written and recorded 8 CDs of original music and have won multiple awards at the Positive Music Awards for many years running. Their album, Already Home, was awarded the Seal of Excellence by the Positive Music Association. Now, all the music that you're going to hear today are all original songs, and they've got those 8 CDs out in the hallway afterwards. Please go pick up one of them, and you can listen to this music, for the weeks coming on. Let's give a great round of applause for Martin Garrett.
Thank you so much, Carla. Great to be here, you guys. Thank you so much for coming. I guess Carla did say that. JD and I are from the mountains of Colorado where it's snowing today. We're really glad to be with you. Let's take just a moment and center down yet again. So delicious to have this time and this space to let go of whatever came before, and not to be worried about what might happen afterwards, but just to be right here in this present moment of now. Such a pleasure, such an honor. All these possibilities. This pure potentiality which is with us right now, knowing that we are right now at the beginning of we don't know what yet. But there's an adventure, there's a well-beingness that surrounds us, the love that enfolds us, that infuses us. And as we continue to just relax and follow the incoming and outgoing of the breath, enjoying the spaces in between the breaths, the silence, we begin to realize that we're not breathing ourselves. That literally, we're being breathed. Who is breathing us? What is breathing us? What is that? That divine love intelligence, that energy, that consciousness that creates worlds as we just drop back and realize that that's who we really are. We realize that there's no place we can go we are not in the middle of that. This that's looking through my eyes right now, that's breathing me. I know that everywhere I look, I see that reflected back to me. And if we so choose, we can let this life be a love story. Just opening into that possibility. I know that each one of us that's here this morning is here by divine appointment. There are no mistakes and no accidents. And this that's happening right now has never happened before and never will quite the same way again. So we get to be in on this. We get to be all in cahoots as we all co-create this beautiful moment ongoingly. I know that there's a heart of harmony that we're all longing to tune into. And that it's the direct experience of remembering with great relief who we really are. The words suggest a path. The music takes us there. So we relax, and with a good sense of well-being and good humor, we allow ourselves to be moved. We say thank you, so it is, so be it, and all is well. Yeah. So you can just open your eyes, come back into the room. Yay, how you guys doing? Yay, feels so good in here. When JD and I have actually been to the Unity of Dallas a couple of times before, and I know that all kinds of things have happened in the meantime, but we're really glad to be here right now. And when we walked in yesterday to do this workshop with these beautiful choir people, we were like, oh, I remember this is the place where the people live who are heart people. That's you guys. I mean, it just feels like that. And because we like to call ourselves the heart of harmony, stay tuned, it feels like we're home. We're so grateful to be here. And this whole idea of the heart and harmony, I will just say briefly that a few years ago, JD and I got a gift from someone who realized that we needed a little help with marketing. So we got this gift, and we did a session with a woman in LA who was really into that sort of promotion and harmony and marketing. And she said, you guys need to find out what is unique about yourself that you can put out into the world so people know who you are. You need really to get branded. So somebody like me who came from a family of cattle ranchers, and it's a little disconcerting, but we were like, okay. So what we realized is it's about the heart, because what we do, our music is heart music, and we get to come and play with you guys and do harmony. And especially we get people like Melinda Wood Allen. Could you give her a hand? She sings with it, and I must say, there's nobody like Melinda, but we're grateful to have her. So as we move into this morning, I'm going to give you guys an assignment, which is just to stay in this place of the heart and play around with what it feels like, what it might feel like to be in harmony. It's not just about music, it's about all the rest of our lives too. So we're going to stay in this place of how can we play together? It's interesting, isn't it? I noticed that in this culture, we have a lot of emphasis on competition, football teams and all that stuff. But there's something about cooperation, and when you're in a band or when you're in an orchestra and when you're in harmony, you have to play together, not against one another. So we're just going to mess around with that as we go through this morning. I know that this thing of the heart, sometimes, we equate it with love, and sometimes the word love can have baggage to some people. If that's difficult for you, just realize that love is the same vibrational frequency as gratitude and appreciation. It's hard to be grateful and bummed out at the same time, at least for me. So to stay in that place of gratitude and appreciation, like some pieces of property will appreciate in value, and your grandmother's beautiful antique jewelry will appreciate in value as time goes by. So our theory is that as we appreciate you, you go up in value. Same thing, you appreciate us, we get more valuable. So we're going to play with that this morning. And we're all going to stay in this place of one heart. I'm doing my meditation, I'm doing my spiritual practice the best I can, really from moment to moment, calling in all the help and trying to remember who I really am, who we all really are, and staying in that place, where I can come into the world and do the right thing. And sometimes I'm not really quite sure what that is, or I'm sure that I know what the right thing is, but other people don't. So I do want to just give some voice to, isn't it interesting what's going on in the world today? And maybe it's always been crazy, right? But somehow, maybe because we have our little devices and we have a 24-hour news cycle, and we find out stuff that's going on in the world that maybe we didn't know before. And there's a way that if you're a highly sensitive person, this can kind of whack you out a little bit. And it's like, what can we do? How can I make a difference? How can I help? some months ago, maybe it was over a year ago now, I think it was, that I woke up sort of in the middle of the night, and I wasn't quite awake, and I wasn't quite asleep, and I wasn't quite dreaming, but it's that magic place, kind of in between all of it. And I heard a voice. I hear voices. Not like Joan of Arc, but I do hear voices. And I heard it say, "Take heart." It's like, whoa, take heart. Wake up in the middle of a dream. Take heart and do the right thing. And I was like, wow, first of all, take heart. Don't freak out. Don't be discouraged. Take heart and wake up in the middle of a dream. Whatever is this trances that we tend to get into, wake up in the middle of a dream and then do the right thing. Whatever that is for you, for me, for us. We may have differing opinions. When I was younger, I was going to college at the University of Colorado. I lived 40 miles away in a little town, and I would come home from school all smarty pants, and my dad and I would have this ongoing argument. It was the time of the Vietnam War, and there was a lot going on, at that time as well. And we drew a line in the sand, and I took one side and he took the other side, and we literally had this argument going on for years about who was right, what was the right thing to do. We never quite could resolve it. It was just sort of awful because I loved my dad and I know he loved me, but it was just this tension. What finally happened was I graduated from college, I went off and had my life, I got married, and I had twin daughters, baby girls. So when Annie and Becky, when we would go visit, they would just climb all over their grandpa and just smooch him up and hug him and kiss him, and he lost the energy to fight in that way. So from that time, it was so great. From that time on, we literally didn't have to argue anymore, and we didn't have to even resolve it. It was very clear that no matter what's going on, love wins, And I'm like, how can I get into that place, and be able to do the right thing from there? JD and I rather recently discovered a wonderful speaker and author named Brené Brown. All these heads are nodding. I think you guys did you do a class or something with Brené? So you know all about this stuff, but she's a straight talking Texan. You guys are from Texas. I forgot we're in Texas. So, that's really a good thing. Is she stands where she needs to stand, and she says it like it is, with this place of the heart as well. I'm just going to read some stuff from her because I think it's really powerful at this time. Brené talks at length about the difference between true belonging and just fitting in. In an age of increased polarization, she says that it's easy to fall into a kind of false intimacy with other people when we join together against a common enemy. Ew. But what we are actually longing for is the internal strength and courage to know who we really are, and to find sacredness both in being a part of something and in standing alone when necessary. Brown's extensive research has found that we human beings are hardwired for connection. So in order to be hateful and violent to one another, we must first dehumanize our enemies. The 4 practices of true belonging require us to be vulnerable, get uncomfortable, and learn how to be with people without sacrificing who we are and what we value. All right, here we go. First one. People are hard to hate close up. Move in. Number 2, speak truth to BS, but be civil about it. 3, hold hands with strangers. And number 4, strong back, soft front, wild heart. This is great stuff. So, in her new book, which is called Braving the Wilderness, Brené speaks soulfully of true belonging and wholeheartedness in the wilds of our psyche. She says, the internal wilderness is an untamed, unpredictable place of solitude and searching. It is a place as dangerous as it is breathtaking, a place as sought after as it is feared. but it turns out to be the place of true belonging. And it's the bravest and most sacred place you will ever stand. So once again, JD and I do live up in the high mountains of Colorado, and it's beautiful up there. And sometimes we get a drought, and we'll get fires. And we hear probably this next summer, we might have a lot of fires next summer because we didn't have a very good snow year this year. So we'll see what that's going to be like. Some years ago, we had a lot of fires in our area and the whole western United States. It seemed at the time like the whole world was on fire. And the political scene was pretty dicey then, too. Not like now. But anyway, it did seem like, what's going on? Are we out of control? What can we do? And obviously, when it's something really huge like that, like Mother Nature, what am I going to be able to do individually? So it was a strange time. But what would happen is that as the fires were raging in our area, there would be, a smoky haze all over the place. And we just didn't know when those fires were going to come get us in our area. Should we pack the car, get the pets, the kids, all of our valuables? We just didn't know. But this is interesting. For me, during that time, I would go to sleep at night and I would have dreams of rain. There was this danger going on outside in the outside world, but in here, everything was beautiful. I would go to sleep and I would have this lovely sensation of green and growing and beautiful flowering meadows and the big trees. And then I'd wake up and there would be that smoky haze again and that uncertainty. And I knew that I couldn't change it particularly, but I wanted peace to spread over the land. And I knew, and I know now, that when the fires rage, it's good to dream of rain.
In your heart, in your soul, do you feel it? Thank you so much for blessing us and helping us do that. And also, Melinda, where are you? Still back there. Thank you for being here today. Melinda is about to lead a spiritual community herself. And I told her, I was like, you could come be with us at like the 9 o'clock service and then go over there at 11. We can work this out, can't we? We actually were in harmony yesterday with other unities at the workshop. Other unities came and joined us from around the area, as well as CSL and Agape. And so we are so thankful for that. And, it's like, it takes so much courage for all of you to be here today. Some of you didn't know each other until yesterday, so give these guys a hand as well. And this was the brainchild of our very own Carla Edwards today. Woo! The interesting thing about harmony is that you can't just kind of talk about it. You actually have to do it. And it doesn't mean just singing. It means being in harmony with the earth. It's no coincidence. I think it's synchronicity. Did you notice that the word for the day is harmony? I have harmony with the earth. So I just thought that was so interesting. And it's almost like with me, Tyler and I have been talking about the fact that the reason I'm teaching self-care this week from Monday through Friday for SEE, Spiritual Enrichment and Education, is because it forces me to actually do it, to do the self-care with the newborn who is sitting right over there with her bunny ears. She wanted to be in the choir. She asked today, and I said, well, maybe next time. But being in harmony, singing, this was my first time to be in a choir ever. So it does take, thank you. Somebody said, you actually look like a singer or a musician today. And I was like, well, thank you, that's a start. Right there, the black. But like with self-care, we all need to take better care of ourselves. We take so much good care of other people that we said, let's teach this new SCE class of self-care, because not just about being in harmony, but being in harmony with mind, body, and soul. And it involves things like what Carlene taught us a week ago, about gut health. Can we elevate our nutritional lifestyle? And then on Wednesday night in Lighten Cafe, Alan Brunton helped us understand the new science on sound healing and how sound is affecting us every day. So I'm going to have them do a little bit of a recap during the week of healthcare, but not healthcare, but self-care. And speaking of self-care, come over here, Deb Stovall, because Deb is a master of C weeks, and she's somehow ended up with a week off of teaching this week. So I said, well, why don't you get up on stage and help me talk about it real quick, because we do have a whole bunch of classes coming up, and they're here on the wall. Well, nobody's going to be able to see that exactly, but like prosperity, you actually have to do it. It's to have an abundance lifestyle, and we know how good of a teacher Alexis Rice is. And then discerning your purpose with Beverly Pryor. Many of you have been thinking about, my purpose was this before, but what is my purpose now? And that's discerning your purpose. And then Bible interpretation, Dr. Wong is sitting out there today talking to people about this idea. Some people love the Bible. Some people love reading Scripture. Other people, well, not so much. But this is a chance to see the Bible in a whole different way. And next is Metaphysics 1 and 2. Paul Hasselback's coming all the way from Unity Village. And you know a little bit about Paul Hasselback.
Yes, I was so blessed to have Metaphysics 1, 2, 3, and 4 with Paul, all of them. And I was able to do that at the Village. So it's an unbelievable experience. If you have not had Paul Hasselback, you must take at least one class.
He's original.
He
was my first SE teacher, yes.
He is so fun. He brings in water and pictures and all kinds of different props for those of us that are visual. Yeah. He just gets the metaphysical message across, which is what the Fillmores were all about.
And he brings challenge. He will challenge you. You may not agree with everything he says, and that's okay.
Which
but
is a
he
good
will challenge.
thing.
That's a good
Yeah.
thing, absolutely.
Yeah.
And then the Christ with Geo Downer.
The Christ is an amazing course, and Geo is amazing. So I'm going to take that course this time. I'm so excited because I get to go to school this week.
Yes.
And instead of teaching. And so I want to take like all 9 classes, but I know you can't do that. But Geo, this class is profound. I talked to people last time that took it, and they were so moved and so touched and so transformed. So yes, I've had it before. I had it for my LUT training, but I want to do it again.
And Geo Downer comes all the way from Hawaii just because he loves this community, and he's coming to teach that. And then I'll introduce him up to the stage so he can speak to us some next Sunday. So he's a special guy. And of course, we all know how special David Drum is and how amazing teacher that he is, and we'll be teaching Hebrew scriptures. And then self-care. And then there's a 30-minute break between self-care for dinner and self-awareness. Having more self-awareness day to day, minute to minute is a huge, huge, timely subject for us. And then Friday, we're doing something at lunch called the Seafood Luncheon. Get it? Get it? Seafood. It didn't seem as corny at the time when we thought of it, but we have open mic, and everybody gets up and talks about the shift they've had that week if they want to speak, and it's open mic luncheon. And then the ranch party Saturday. We have a big party and celebrate the week out at a ranch. It's about 40 minutes away. So we will be out in the lobby, the foyer today, talking about it, so you can come and sign up. And even if you can't be here the whole week, if you just want to drop in Monday to a class to see what it's all about Monday, you can absolutely do that. So with that, I want to find out, is there anybody here for the very first time? Boy, did you pick a day to come. Raise your hand if you're a first-time guest. Don't be shy. You won't have to sing in the choir till later on. And if you haven't been here in about 5 years, raise your hand. Let me see. Sometimes good. A couple, very good to see you again. And speaking of the choir, guys, do you think this is a little bit of a new beginning for a choir at Unity of Dallas? Yes. I would say yes. And you're thinking, but I don't sing. That's okay. Some of us said that too. So talk to Carla Edwards if you're remotely interested in that, being in choir. Absolutely.